Hey folks, welcome back to the new installment of Toytrooper. Today we'll be looking at the Star Wars Jaina Solo Bishoujo version ArtFX 1/7 scale pre-painted model kit from Kotobukiya. Kotobukiya decided to release this figure as a snap kit model kit. All that means is that you have to kind of assemble the figure together. It doesn't require any paint because the figure is pre-painted, and there's no glue involved because all you have to do is snap the parts together. So I'm just going to go over the different parts that you have to put together and show you how it's done. The first piece we got is the clear base with two little foot pegs on it. That's pretty much where the bottom half of the figure is going to go. One cool feature about this thing is that it's not just a clear base, but it comes in two pieces, and you open it up. And Kotobukiya decided to add two little graphite discs. One is a Star Wars logo outline on a clear disc, and the other one is the New Republic Rogue Squadron logo. So what you do is you choose the one you want, you gently put it over the disc, and you lock it in. What's one cool thing about this is, if you're good with Photoshop, you can actually just print your own and make your own customizable base. Make it a little bit more unique for yourself compared to everybody else's. The second part is the bottom half of Jaina. It's the orange flight suit rolled down, has some cool harnesses on here, and her boots. What you do is, as you can see, there's little holes on the bottom of her foot. You just line it up to the base and you lock her down. You do need to put a little bit of pressure on it so that you know that she's snugly fit, so she doesn't bend when you fully assemble her. The second part to the body is the torso. The head is already attached, so what you do is, same thing as the pegs on the foot, you line it up to the waist and you squeeze her down. It does require a little bit of force so that it stays in place. It's not a loose peg, so that's a good thing. As you can see, there's no hands on this torso, and they all come separately. Here's the right hand. The flak jacket's already attached to her hand. So what you do is, you line up the peg with the hole, and you just apply pressure to it to get it in place, but don't do it too hard because you might damage the arm. Got it right there. And this is her left hand. It comes with this really cool helmet. You do need to twist the arm a little bit just to kind of line up the peg, but don't push too hard because, like I said, you'll damage it. There we go. The last piece of the whole thing is her lightsaber. The lightsaber has a little hole at the bottom, and if you look closely to the right hand, there's a little peg on her pinky finger. So all you have to do is just gently, very gently, line up the hole, and there we go. You could attach the lightsaber in any other angle. I kind of like it lifted up because it looks like she's using the force to lift it. So here she is, fully assembled, and I have to say Koto did a spectacular job. The Bishoujo figure line is based off the work of Shinya Mashida, and he does all the conceptual art for the figures. And I have to say, the sculptors that designed this figure did such a great job. It almost looks like one of his illustrations just jumped off the paper and became a toy. There's such small detail added to this figure that it makes the figure in general look even that much better. There's little wrinkles in this flight suit, and there's such nice subtle shading to the paint that it adds a little bit more texture to it and adds so much more depth. And that's really important because you don't want the figure to look very flat. Because if you don't do the paint application correct on an orange color, it just looks really bad. And this one, it's spectacular. The best parts, I think, is the little props in her hands, especially that helmet. There's a clear orange visor on it. Instead of just painting on a sculpted piece, they took it to the next level and added that in. Makes it look a little bit more authentic. And as usual, Koto does a great job with their facial sculpt, especially the Bishoujo figures. The facial sculpt on this thing is very pretty. The hair is so fluid and nice. And on top of that, just that lightsaber. Instead of just embedding it in her hand, giving you the option to let it float, make it look like she's using the force, that just makes this thing so much greater. Over the last 3-4 years, Koto has had a lot of success with the Bishoujo figure line. They have done everything from Marvel and DC characters to even Mass Effect. And this is the first time they're jumping into the Star Wars universe. And instead of doing something very predictable like Princess Leia, they have reached into the expanded universe and done Jaina Solo for as their first figure. And I have to say that it is actually pretty spectacular because she is such an awesome character that she deserves a great figure. But the problem is that because this is a Bishoujo figure line and it was based off the art of Shinya Mashita, this isn't a great representation of her actual character. Instead of the Jedi Master or the Rogue Squadron pilot, what we got here is pretty much a pretty girl, and then let's just throw a lot of different Star Wars elements like the lightsaber and the Rogue Squadron helmet and call it a Jaina Solo figure. So the verdict, guys, considering the paint application and the great sculpt and also the design, this is a must buy. It also doesn't hurt that it's only about 50 to 60 bucks. And this thing is definitely worth it. I'm not much of a anime or a video game figure collector, but this Jaina Solo figure, even though it doesn't represent her in the best way, it's still a great buy because for the amount of money that you're paying, there's such great little elements and so much detail that went into this figure that it's just a steal in itself. There's not many Jaina figures out there, so you just have to take it when it comes. And this is definitely something worthy of putting on your shelf. And hopefully if this thing does really well, then Koto will make a Princess Leia Bishoujo figure, maybe in her Hoth gear, or maybe in a Slave Leia. So that's something we could look forward to. And maybe Koto will do an ArtFX Jaina that's more authentic to her character, where she's wielding a lightsaber and just looking really badass. So we can all hope, maybe Koto's watching and they're, taking my ideas and taking it to heart. So thanks for watching my review. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them, post them up on my YouTube. And until next time, keep collecting, guys.